All right, let's see what all these switches do. Okay, so we're already started here. I'll start with the left side over here. This switch right here, it controls the horn. If you have it on low, it will give you the stock horn, which sounds kind of dinky. And if you switch it on high, that gives you the train horns, which is pretty loud. These switches right here, they're not seat heater, well, they are seat heater switches, but I use them for the winches. So the front, this is the front winch out, front winch in. Okay, say that 3 times fast. This is for the rear winch out and rear winch in. So you have interior controls. I'll make a separate video on that because obviously the winches aren't on right now. There's a main power switch for that. Let's see, we have, let's wind down the windows. See a little better. Okay, this switch right here is for the dual battery. If you have it on, that means that both batteries are on. If you have it off, that just means a primary battery is on, and secondary battery is just ready there for you to use in case of emergency. This button right here is actually connected to an adjustable timer relay. So when you press this, it'll actually connect both of the batteries for a preset time. I usually have it for about 5 minutes. So if you press that there, it'll connect both batteries, and that way you don't forget it on. This right here, as you know, is the magic dial. That's for the diff locks for the front and rear. I'll make another video for that, showing how that functions. Let's step in here. All right. Okay, this button right here is for the 200 psi Dual Compressor OBA, the onboard air. It's just to power it on and off, but it is automatic. It's set to come on at 120 psi and then shut off at 200 psi. So right now it's at 200 psi, it stays off. This is the rear heat low, rear heat high. This is the center locker button. This is a JDM option. This actually, the US versions are not available with this, but I got it, and it's actually pre-wired. So you just plug it right in, and then that'll turn on the center locker. I'll make a different video for that, of course. Okay, what we have here. Let's see, we have low. Let's go through all the buttons for the HVAC, and yes, the AC is ice cold. Today is pretty cold anyways. Let's go through each button. They're all solid, so now this button here is actually for the, turn that off. This button here is actually for the rear floodlights. That's on the rack and the rear spoiler. I set that here because I wanted this light to be blinding in my face just in case I ever forgot it on. I didn't want to be blinding anyone else behind me. That's just to remind me that it's on. Of course, we have the hazards. Yes. And we have the rear defrost or defogger. Let's see, these are for the antenna up and down, but the radio is not on. So I'll put on the radio, and you see the antenna goes all the way up. But you could manually adjust it to go how low you want, like say right below the limb riser, or all the way down, or all the way up. So I usually keep it. You know, everything just works. Right here we have a cup holder that I never use unless it's just a bottle of water. I don't like having it, you know, above the stereo, but whatever. Let's see. Up on top we have this button right here. It turns on the rear drop-down screens. You know, if you want to turn those off, you just turn that off right there. And this button here turns on the, in case you want to see the videos from either this camera or the rear camera. Now, there's a switch here for that. This is a rotary switch that I put in, and you could switch from the rear camera. It's blocked by the by the stuff that I have back there, or the front camera. And there's also more positions on it. Now, if you notice, I have cameras on the fender flares. There are more positions to actually turn those cameras on, but they stopped working. I have new cameras for that. Yeah, I have new replacement cameras. I just never got a chance to, I just never got a chance to put them in. And quite honestly, I mean, it's like 20-year-old technology. They're not even, you know, like 1080p cameras. So I just don't use them. But I mean, it's there. And I have a 4-channel DVR in the glove box that records everything pretty much. And but like I said, it's like 20-year-old technology. I use newer dash cams nowadays. I don't even really use the old stuff. Let's see. Let's go through some more of the switches here. Okay, down here we have light switches for auxiliary. We have the front fog lights that are on the bumper, and that is right there. We have the pencil beam spotlights that are on the roof rack. I'll just put those on there. We have the left side 100-watt floodlights on the rack. And the right side floodlights. Alright, now down here, I'll just pull up this handbrake. We have these 3 switches here. This one right here, it turns on the CSP 690 Welland strobe light kit that I have on there. I'll just turn that on. Now these are legal light colors. Up front you have the clear and the amber, and in the rear you have the red. You wouldn't want the red up front because that would be illegal, but these are legal colors, at least in this state and other states where I usually am. So this button turns that on and off. This button over here changes the flash pattern. There are 10 flash patterns, I believe, that you could just switch, and it's a momentary switch, so each time you push it, it's a different flash pattern. I'll just cycle through them, and you know, anyways, this turns it off. And what's neat about that, it's right here, right where your finger is, so you could just flip it on, flip it off whenever you need it. Now this button right here, this red button, is actually a tank drain for the onboard air system. You know, usually the onboard air, they would gather moisture in the air tank, and you would usually have to drain that by hand. I just connected an air solenoid to it, and it's plumbed to the rear bumper. So I just got to press this button, and it'll automatically just drain whatever's in the tank, any kind of moisture, and you would hear it like that. And you could drain it all the way down until the tank turns on at, I believe, at like 120 psi. I'll just go ahead and drain it. Now you hear the compressors, they just flipped on. I mean, it's kind of hard to hear in here. But I'll do another video on that. Now, this right here turns that on and off. It's a main cutoff. and it's an OEM switch. I believe I got this from a 4Runner, or maybe like actually an older Land Cruiser 80 series I got this from, and because I wanted everything to look factory. And let's see, what else do we have here? Down here I have a subwoofer amp controller, so you could adjust the sub volume. Let's see. Down on the bottom here we have a main cutoff switch right here. Now, I know it kind of looks weird, but this right here, it'll turn the winch power on. I have a 500 amp solenoid under the hood that connects the main power cables for the front winch, the rear winch, and an Anderson cable that's connected to that's mounted on the rear bumper. That's for some plug-in jumper cables if you want to pull up in front of somebody and give them a jump start. I made it that way because people kept taking my jumper cables, so I figured I'd make one that's just for me, just for this vehicle. It plugs in with an Anderson cable or Anderson connector, and has it's pretty heavy duty. It's 2-gauge cable, 1,000 amp clamps, and come in a nice bag. Of course, all that stuff is included. But when you turn this on, it gives power to all of that. Now, still, nothing is going to work because you actually need a special key to go and turn on the winches. I'll explain that in the winch video that I'm going to make next. But that right there, it's for you to turn the winches on and off, the main cutoff power. That right there should do it. Let's see, what other switches and stuff do we have here? Let's go through some of this stuff, make sure it all works, because it does. Signals, park light, headlights, high beams. Okay. Let's go through, see the mirrors. Yep. Alright, right side. Okay. Now here we have a dimmer switch, which I'll show you in another video. That's like a night video, because it's hard to see during the daytime here. What else is there? Oh, okay. Got wipers, and yes, the squirters they all work. All right. And what else? Oh, rear. Okay, rear wiper, yep. Alright, what else is there? I think that should be it. Yeah, okay, let's do a startup video.